Hi, Tommy.
Hey, long time no see.
I know it's been a long time. Welcome to April, everybody. It's
Yep.
time for the final installment of our universally beloved series of Harry Potter movies.
Yep. Our Emmy nominated series.
I know it's really surprising, actually. It's very flattering, though. Um, Today, the final two installments, which is one book split into two movies, Deathly Hallows Part One and Two.
Yeah, so I'll just ask you this question right out of the gate. Do you think they should have split the movie into two, or split the book into two, um, for whatever? Or do you
I
think
think
it should have not been done?
I think um the this movie, these two movies started a trend in Hollywood of doing it for final
Yeah.
installments. I think this is the only one I've seen where it was not only necessary, but I think enhances the experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna be frank, I don't like Deathly Hallows Part One all that much. I think it has its
Mm.
moments. I don't think it's a bad movie. I still only think Chamber of Secrets is the only bad movie, but I think that what was I saying?
You
What the hell is
said
what am I
you
talking
were
about?
talking about them splitting it into two parts if they needed to or not.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was gonna say that I think it was necessary because part two was it. There's so much in it, and there's no way that they could have included the stuff they needed to in part one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think part one does suffer because of that.
Uh,
Yeah, you're gonna give your opinion on what I
love
just said.
Deathly Hallows Part One.
Oof.
Deathly Hallows Part One is probably is uh in my top tier for sure. And I'm going to
Okay.
tell you why, Tommy.
Okay, we'll have a little bit of a
I know
disagreement.
why people think this movie is boring. And you know what? I kind of understand.
I kind of
But
agree. It is boring.
I think this is I don't know. It gives a different vibe from any other movie in the series. Um I just really like the fact that it's like really slow and it's like a lot of just like camping and waiting around
Yeah.
and you're laughing, but I'm completely 100% serious. I think this movie being like a slow hunt and it's like the best movie for like exploring the friendship between the three of them.
Yeah.
I think it does a good job of showing like how their relationships are tested and how they are like successful and how they fail. And I just think it does a good job overall of really being the best movie for Harry, Ron, and Hermione
Sure.
specifically. I also think that there is so much shit in this movie that is some of the best in the entire series. For starters, um, the entire heist in the Ministry of Magic is really fucking fun. I think,
Were they the polyjuice? Were they transformed that part?
yeah, where they transform into different people,
What was the
and
point of
it's
that again? Why were they going there? Oh, to get the
because they
locket. Yep.
the locket. Yep.
Yeah.
It's they the way they infiltrate it, and it's tense, but it's also like enjoyable to watch, and there's good. I don't know. It's a fun sequence. The whole breaking that in and getting the locket. Like I think for a lot of people, it's definitely the most exciting part of the movie. Um, and then you see Umbridge again, and they get their payback or whatever. And I don't know. I've just always felt like that part of the movie is like it's a really fun way to start the journey for finding all the Horcruxes. What comes after, if you want to say, is the part that I think people tend to take most issue with, which is where they're just kind of sitting around and they don't fucking know how to get rid of it. uh,
Yeah. So my main issue with this movie is that it's 2.5 hours roughly,
mm,
and the whole point of this movie, or as suggested by the movie before is that they're gonna go on a hunt. They're gonna find these Horcruxes, and I'm like, okay. So I imagine this movie is gonna be majority. They're gonna be finding a Horcrux here, Horcrux there. Gonna be like finding clues. Nope, they do not find a single Horcrux besides the one that they thought they had, but then had to find the new one. And
Yeah, but
instead
that's
of
not how it goes.
and then, which happens in like the first hour or so, which is
Hmm.
fine, whatever. But then they take the remaining hour and a half to figure out how to destroy it.
Yeah, but I like it for like a number of reasons. For one is that like that's how it would actually go when you fucking send them out with no guidance. Like it's not gonna be like and it's not gonna be like they're finding them all the time. And the movie is like intentionally trying to make you frustrated with the characters. That it's
Yeah,
like we have fucking nothing to go off of. We don't know what to do. Dumbledore didn't really tell us what to do.
that's a good
Uh,
point.
I think it's got this different air about it from the other movies where it's very
But then, like, then why is the movie right after it just like, oh, Harry just boom, Horcrux is in his mind, boom, 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 knows where they are.
well. I think because this one is um because like this one is more of like the build up to all that, and the other one is like more of the like payoff to all that because the course of this movie is spent finding out how you can destroy Horcruxes, you know, how they like behave and like all this stuff. Like the whole time we know that Nagini is one, right? And we know that two of them are already destroyed, and we know that um and we know that the locket is one of them. So their main concern is finding out what the other two are. I mean, three, including Harry himself, but he doesn't know that. So, um, I think they spend a lot of time leaving, or like looking through the clues that Dumbledore left them, and like, um, kind of spending
So
time
here's my thing: if
figuring
they
that shit
really
out.
wanted, you said like they want us to feel frustrated. I feel like if
Mm-hmm.
they wanted us to feel frustrated and make it more realistic, they would have broken it up into 5 parts and have just like this gigantic scavenger, like 10-hour long scavenger
Yeah,
hunt
but then it would be no fun.
movie. Because yeah, okay, but that's kind of how I feel about this movie. Is that like it wasn't fun because, and then in the next movie, it's just like, oh, you know how it took like so long for them to find the Horcrux and everything?
Mm-hmm.
It's just easy now. Harry just like closes his eyes and he finds it. Like there's a scene where he's just like, oh, it's it's the little trophy and it's in the vault and we gotta go to the vault,
Mm-hmm.
guys. And they're like, yeah, okay, sounds about right.
Well, yeah. Well, like I said, this movie kind of is the build up to that because it's like he doesn't he doesn't let himself. Wait, no, he doesn't just get a vision of the cup. He when he sees the cup, he knows it's Voldemort. But he
But
knows is
that
that it was in Bellatrix's vault.
Yeah, but then the same thing happens with the diadem. He has the dream, and then they're just like, oh, well, there's this. There happens to be this small object from the Ravenclaws, and he's like, yeah, that sounds about right. I don't know. It's just like I really like the one after, and we'll talk about that later. But I just feel like they spent such little time actually like hunting, actually doing a lot with the Horcruxes
Mm-hmm.
that in the next movie it just feels like a rush. It feels like such a rush to do the Horcruxes, which
Mm-hmm.
is probably the only problem I have with it. But I
Well,
would
I
only
think
blame that on the
this.
first one.
Yeah, well, this one's also like more about the Hollows side of things than the
Yeah, don't
Horcruxes.
they explain the hollows?
Yeah, this is the one where you find out about you know what like what
I
Voldemort's doing with the Elder Wand and all that shit. And
I thought that was really cool.
yeah, and you find about, and I think another part that I really really love is the part where they're being told the story of the three brothers, and it's like animated in that kind of creepy.
That animation's so cool.
Yeah, um, like it's so much cooler rather than having like Hermione just talk to us or having like a flashback to the actual thing. Like it was so much cooler to have them animate the story to look like that. And uh, it always just struck me as like a really nice visual cool part of the movie. I don't know. I fuck you, Tommy. I really like this movie because okay.
No, no, no. I really like that part too. That's probably my favorite part of the movie. Like that tail is
Mhm.
just so cool. And I don't know. I really wish they had more things like that throughout the series, where it was like
I get what you
that
mean.
little story is just, it's just really cool, really
It is cool.
nice.
Um, but yeah, like I said, this movie is kind of meant for Harry, Ron, and Hermione to be angry with each other, and the audience to be kind of fucking fed up with everyone too. Because like I don't think the second movie would be as satisfying if you didn't spend this movie dicking around in the forest forever doing nothing. Because think of how frustrating it would be for Harry to be sent out on a quest that's like literally finding a needle in a haystack. You know, it really. I just feel like it puts you in that
So
mindset.
like, but the thing is like, there are seven needles in seven different haystacks, and
Mm-hmm.
he spends one movie searching for just one, and then when he
Yeah,
actually finds it, which is pretty quickly, he has no idea what the fuck to do with the needle for the rest of the movie. And then in the
yeah.
next movie, he just finds the next needles and destroys them really quickly.
But imagine how much it would suck
You know?
if you didn't have this movie, and then Harry's just like, "Oh yeah, you can destroy them with basilisk fangs." Like,
No, no, no. So I am not saying that there should not have been two movies. I just feel like they could have upped the pace with this a little bit more. It
mm,
was just a little too slow.
I like
Like I
it.
don't know,
I
make
don't know,
make them do something else. I don't know. I didn't like that they were just in the
but they do
woods.
do a
Oh, we
lot. I
gotta
mean,
go.
there's a lot
Mhm.
where they're just camping, but they go to Godric's Hollow and they go to uh
There's a lot of backstory, but I don't know. It just I'm just I can't look at this movie and then look at like another Harry Potter movie and be like, yeah, this one's just better. And because it's just, in my opinion, it's just not.
pussy.
Um, yeah.
No, but okay, so uh before we get too far out, I want to talk about like two of my favorite, a couple of my favorite scenes in this movie and in the entire series. So I really like the argument between Ron and Harry in the middle of the movie when Ron leaves. Uh, I
He's
think that
jealous.
yeah, well, he's jealous and he's also just like fed up with Dumbledore leaving them nothing, basically. Um, and I don't know. I just thought both of them did a really good job in that argument scene, making it you know pretty real and pretty in character for both of them. I just feel like it's one of the times where, especially like Ron or Rupert Grint, like is doing a really good job with acting. And then to follow that, like I like that Ron is gone for a while, and you kind of see how that takes a toll on Harry and Hermione. Like they feel like
Yeah.
a part of them is like missing.
So here's here's another question. Do they almost kiss? You know that one scene?
Okay, yeah.
They're
So
like about to kiss.
that's the next thing I want to talk about. Uh, Harry and Hermione's dance in the tent is probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie,
Hmm.
and that's not. I don't think it's like a romantic thing, right? Like so, the way I view it is like Harry and Hermione have always been like purely platonic
With
friends, right?
benefits. Yeah.
Yeah. There's even a part in Half Blood Prince where Dumbledore's like, "Hey, you two fucking."
Yeah, that just comes out of nowhere because it's just Dumbledore like, do you like Hermione? And then Harry's like, what? No. And like, okay.
Yeah,
Like
all
they
right.
just don't touch on it at
I
all for the rest of
think
the
it's for the
movie.
fans who kept like being like Harry and Hermione are destined to be together, blah, blah, blah. But whatever. So, uh, this scene's also not in the book where they dance in the tent, but I felt like it was just a scene of them just like expressing their like friendship with each other in a
Their
way that
raw
like
platonic friendship.
yes, where um
Yeah.
I mean, I get why people do view it as like a romantic scene, but I'd always just saw it as like, since Ron left, it just Harry being trying to like bring back that more like innocent part of their lives where they were able to have fun, and both of them kind of get like lost in it for a minute before it, snaps back to uh
Reality.
yeah, being miserable and
Oh, there goes gravity.
it snaps back to them being like miserable and whatever that Ron's gone. But I just like that
Yeah.
because I think it says a lot about Harry and Hermione's friendship, where a lot of people would view that as a oh, the main guy and the girl, they must fall in love.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Instead, it's like no, they're friends and they just get each other, and that's it. Like it's like a Harry understands what Hermione feels like she's missing since Ron left, and he's doing his best to try and
They're
kind of
just friends. They're just
bring that
friends.
light to the group that
Yeah,
Ron brings.
yeah, exactly. They
So
definitely do a good
I
job.
really love that
There's
scene.
there's one there's one weird scene between them where they're at Godric's Hollow, I think, or they're in like the woods, and Hermione's just like, "What if we just stop? What if we just sit here and
Grow
grow
old,
old?"
yeah.
It's like, where does this coming from, Hermione?
Mhm.
Like, you got a world to save. Like,
Yeah, you're in the woods, dude. What are you gonna eat?
yeah, that
uh,
kind of came out of nowhere, and I was like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's fair. I also like in when they're leaving the burrow, Harry tries to leave early, and Ron comes after him. He's like, "The fuck you doing, man?"
Mhm.
Like you're gonna die out there without Hermione. He doesn't even say
Yeah,
himself. He's like, "Without Hermione,
we
you are
won't make
going
it
to
without her.
die."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Uh,
don't tell her I said that. But also one of my favorite scenes in the movie was after there was that attack at the wedding, they go to London, I think, and they go into this coffee shop. Um, and they're just sitting there doing their thing.
mhm.
And then two men dressed in like full construction gear looking incredibly like suspicious. They have like their toolboxes. It's very obvious that they are like out of place in
Yeah.
London with construction gear on, or I don't know, like handyman gear. And then so like it's obvious that they're up to something. And then Harry looks over, and one of them clearly has a wand right in his hand, and they're just
Yeah.
like, all right, well, you know,
So okay, I actually found out the reason why they showed up, right?
why's that?
And I just learned this after like my 50th time viewing the movie or whatever. So, and it's not even fucking explained in the movie, but it's a deleted scene, and this is true in the book too. But Ron explains to them that Voldemort, you know how no one wants to say his name, but Voldemort has actually put a curse on his name now, and if you say it, he'll know where you are.
Like
Um,
Lord of the Rings.
yeah. Um, so Ron is the only one of the three of them that still won't say it, and Harry or Hermione, I forget which one, but one of them says it as they're walking to the diner.
Oh,
And I feel like I don't know why they cut that scene out, but if they had left it in of Ron saying that, like it would have been such a cool revelation of like, oh shit, like yeah, you go back and Harry says it here, and then they show up, and then like it would make more sense with when Luna's dad says it and they just show up because
that's
that's what
cool.
happens. He says Voldemort, and then they all show up, but they never say
Yeah,
that
I
that's
think
an actual
there's.
thing now.
I don't know if it's. I don't think it's in this movie. It might be the one after. Might be in one before. But someone is about to say Voldemort, and then somebody stops them.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. I forget what the context is, but I remember there's something like that.
It's in weirdly the scene that I'm talking about where Ron explains it is in the the extended edition that only airs on television. Like you can't find it anywhere.
Huh.
Yeah. So I don't know. I get why people think this movie is boring, but oh, I also like the part where Ron comes back and he's just like,
What's up?
"Yeah, hey, I'm back." Uh,
Hey guys.
yeah, I mean the scene where he destroys the Horcrux is a little weird when he sees naked Harry and Hermione making out.
Yeah, that was. I don't know why they had to. Like it would have been so much easier to just like put clothes on them.
Also, like it's kind of stupid of Voldemort to do because it's like if he kept showing the spiders, like right, it starts with spiders coming out of the thing. If he kept doing that, Ron would be like scared and run away. But
You don't want to make him angry.
yeah,
You want
showing
him
Harry and
scared.
Hermione only makes him angry and wanted to kill it more.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then I thought Dobby's death is really sad. I'm sure Tommy doesn't agree because he hates Dobby.
No, he's actually pretty cool in this movie. Um,
Yeah.
Harry Potter,
You will not hurt Harry Potter.
you will not harm Harry Potter.
You're
Oh,
a naughty witch.
Dobby is free.
Dobby is free. It is sad though. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah, sure.
poor guy. He was a slave. He just got his freedom. Now he's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, he does show up earlier in the movie too. I forgot. He shows
When?
up at when they're hiding at Sirius's place.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he takes the creature. I think his name is literally creature. And he's like, I don't know.
Creature's
He's
cool
just
as
like,
fuck. In the book, Creature is he's so angry all the time because Sirius was an asshole to him. And
Sirius was an asshole to him.
Yeah, and Harry and Hermione start treating him nicely, and he actually becomes like nice and helps them, and like cooks them dinner and stuff. Yeah. So, and then Draco, right?
Yeah.
There's some weird logic in this movie to get this out of the way, and this is more so in the second one. But basically, the Elder Wand belongs to Draco because Draco disarmed Dumbledore on Dumbledore Tower, right? Okay, cool, fine.
In Dumbledore Tower.
Did I say Dumbledore Tower?
Yeah, you said Dumbledore Tower.
In Astronomy Tower. So that makes sense. That's fine, right? He disarmed him, so he gets the Elder Wand. But then Harry wrestles it out of Draco's hand, and that makes it Harry's wand. I don't know. That always seemed a little weird.
It's not even.
It's not even the Elder Wand. It's Draco's wand.
It's literally not even the Elder Wand, which doesn't make sense.
It's a little weird. It's just like, okay, I guess that counts.
It was just a reason for them to be like, oh, it's not Voldemort's.
Yeah.
Which makes it less cool because, like, it would have been cool even if Voldemort had the Elder Wand and Harry still
work for either
him.
of them. Yeah. It still wouldn't work for him because Draco owned it, regardless of if Harry did or not. But I do like the bit where Draco like lies about it being Harry when they get.
Yeah, why did he do that? Because Harry asked him this, and then like Draco just like didn't respond.
I think he just had a change of heart because he was finally seeing like what it was like, what Hogwarts was like, and
he goes,
everything.
You know what? These guys are bad. I didn't know this, but these guys are. I'm hanging it out with the wrong crowd.
Am I wrong?
Wait just a minute.
Nah.
You're telling me he killed your parents and then tried to kill you?
That's fucked up.
Dude, you should have told me this.
I'm so sorry. I like bullied you.
You want to get out of here? Grab a drink?
You want to grab a butterbeer?
Let's say we just forget all this.
You know what? Let's bygones.
Speaking of forgetting, I will say, before we move on to the next movie, it's a sad scene in the beginning where Hermione like wipes the memory of her parents.
Oh yeah, that is a sad scene.
That is really sad. Like that was one of those saddest scenes like in the series, low key.
Yeah.
And then also Moody dies, Hedwig dies.
Yep.
Who else dies in this
Dobby
movie?
dies.
Dobby. Dobby is dead.
I'm dead, Harry.
Harry, but I have a knife in me.
Oh, Harry. Harry, it's not going anywhere. It's really in there.
I'm really gonna die.
Oh man, that thing's far in there. I should try moving it. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna leave it in.
Do you see the light too, Harry?
Oh, it's not a light. That's a car coming right for us. I got stabbed and I'm gonna get hit by a car.
All right.
We have funny. Fuck, Dobby's dead. Poor guy.
Fuck Dobby.
Pour one out for the homes.
Draco's like, wait, he was my slave?
Yeah.
No way.
Oh, wait. We never used the S word around here. I thought he was our worker.
I thought he was like being around us and doing.
I thought we paid that guy. He was unionized.
Oh God, I got it all wrong.
Oh man, I really gotta reevaluate things.
Voldemort's no. Dork?
No. No. It can't be true.
I know, but you're pulling my leg. Look at this guy, Potter. Oh, classic Potter,
uh,
always pulling
yeah.
my leg. Anyways,
Stupid. Also, Bellatrix tortures Hermione. It's pretty bad.
when does she torture her?
Where she's like, oh, I know you were in my vault. And she's like torturing her, and Ron's like, we gotta help her. Yeah, and that same scene in the book, like when Hermione's being tortured, Ron is going like ballistic, sicko mode. He's
I
like,
don't remember the scene.
we
Oh,
got
you
it.
know what? I do remember this scene.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the movie, you can hear her screaming, being tortured, and he's just like, oh no. In the book, he's like foaming at the mouth, ready to eat the bars off where they're being kept.
Yeah. And then Dobby saves them. Dobby! I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, and Bellatrix fucking kills him, which is sad. But look, I
Yeah,
get why
so
people. I get why people
Bellatrix's
think
death
this.
count is 2, right?
Yeah.
And Neville's parents, that's 4.
She didn't kill them. That's another thing they don't show in the series. Neville's parents didn't die. They got tortured
Well,
into insanity.
they made it sound like they died.
Yeah, they got tortured to the point where they're like now insane,
Oh, it's too bad.
and they're in like a home.
Oh.
Yeah.
But Neville's great.
That was cool.
That was really cool.
But yeah, I get why people think this movie's boring. And you know what? That's fine. But I don't know. It has some kind of presence to it. I just really enjoy it.
That's Dobby.
It has Dobby. I really like it. You know, I get why people hate the camping shit. I fucking love the camping shit. I love the dance scene. I love the ministry heist. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Okay, fuck you. I know people think it's boring, and that's fine. I really love this movie. Moving on. Oh, Chad.
Yeah, Chad.
Yeah.
Dobby says Chad.
Even as boring as you may think it is, I think there's still plenty of stuff in here that's pretty fun and enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I like that you're seeing the semblances of Ron and Hermione's relationship building, like when they're playing the piano and shit, and you know, it's all kicking off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Hollows Part 2.
Yeah. So Voldemort gets the Elder Wank.
Yeah.
And how is it? Oh, it ends. It starts with like them mourning Dobby.
And then they question Grip Hook, who they also saved from Malfoy.
Yeah, this little dickhead.
And Ollivander.
He is such a. I hate him. He's ugly as shit.
I hate Ollivander too. Ollivander's a dick.
What's with Ollivander? Why is he? What's up?
No, he's like, oh, this wand, like you're gonna die. And Harry's like, thanks, man. And like, in case I already didn't know, this was like a suicide mission.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this movie starts with them questioning them, and you find out more about the Elder Wand from Ollivander, and more about the thing being kept in Bellatrix's vault by Griphook, and they plan another heist, and this one is also really fun.
Yeah, I like this heist a little bit more.
Yeah, this is one where it really goes to shit really quickly, and Harry uses the Imperious Curse.
What's the Imperious Curse?
It's the one where you mind control people. And I find that Harry used two of the 3.
Ron did it. Ron did
he?
Imperious Curse, I think.
Well, Harry did it. He was under the invisible cloak.
Oh, then Ron did it the second time.
Yeah, he probably did. But Harry, I found that he's used 2 of the 3 unforgivable curses in the series. Because he tried to do the Cruciatus curse on Bellatrix after she killed Sirius.
Yeah, Harry's going down the wrong path.
They gotta straighten this boy out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's like, I don't know, when they're riding on the cart and shit and fighting the dragon. It's really fun. Kick it on.
Yeah, I think the moment when they stepped in to the vault and all those things started multiplying is when something activated inside of me and like my anxiety spiked.
Yeah, it's a freaky part too. And
I don't know. That's such a crazy thing that like Like imagine everything starts. I don't know.
Yeah, like duplicating.
Yeah, and then they get out. The dragon's not having it.
Mm-hmm.
The little goblin dude who I hate is just like, no, sorry guys,
Yes,
I'd
beast.
rather die to Voldemort.
Yeah, the cup for the sword,
Yeah,
fucker. Fuck you, Grip Hook, and all you Grip Hook fans out there.
are
But
there
yeah, I
grip
think
hook fans?
the bank escape. What?
Are there grip hook fans?
I doubt it.
Okay,
There's probably one dude who loves Grip
and
Hook.
fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. Uh, the whole bank escape is fun. It's thrilling. You know, it's just it's a good part. There's a lot of tension. It's good. And then they escape
There's a
on the
lot of raw
dragon
sexual tension during that.
between Grip Hook and Hermione.
Yeah,
uh,
grip hook and the dragon,
oh yeah, that's hot.
literally at the fire. Um,
And they ride out on a dragon, and I like the part where it's like you see the bank and it's like really quiet, and then like the dragon just like crashes through the
yeah,
bottom.
yeah. There's like a tiny little shake, and then it's like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah,
And then
and it's a cool looking dragon too.
very cool dragon.
And like it's all white and it's all beat up. I mean, it's terrible that it's beat up. We don't stand animal cruelty here at SSMP, but we do
No.
stand cool looking dragons, and this
Yeah.
is one of them. uh, yeah, and then they jump off, and I do like that. I think that's another benefit of having Deathly Hallows Part One, is that we've had now had an entire movie outside of Hogwarts, so returning to it feels like really like has this big sense of like finality to it,
Mhm. And
and like
they do it well because once they return, everybody's pretty happy to see them.
oh yeah,
There's like that big welcome, and then there's the really cool because what happens in between that? Do they just they go to Dumbledore's brother's house, right?
yeah, they
And he's kind of a jerk.
he is a jerk. Yeah, they sneak into Hogsmeade, and then they end up with Aberforth, and then pretty much right after that that's it. They're in Hogwarts, and
Okay.
they have to find the other Horcruxes and find a way to destroy the other one.
Yeah. So they I forget how, but Snape somehow hears that Harry Potter's in the building, and so he calls everybody there, and he's like, if you got any news, please step forward. Let it be known. Just step forward. So one student steps forward, and it's Harry.
Harry.
It's fucking Harry.
Oh my god.
And he
Wait,
says,
that's the main title character.
and he says the line.
Yeah. How dare you stand where he stood?
I remember that line because I think in the trailers for Deathly Hallows Part 2, I'm pretty sure he said that.
Yeah.
So that's like engraved in my mind. And then he battles McGonagall. McGonagall.
We gotta go. You're getting teary.
Yeah. And also I'd say she's one of the most underrated characters. I remember reading the books.
She's cool as fuck.
She was like all in the books. She was
She's
like
fair, but stern.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good lady. She kind of bad.
McGonagall or Umbridge?
Ooh, I mean, that's like asking me, do I want $1 million in cash or debit?
Yeah.
They're both so fine. They're literally like one 4-foot tall elderly woman and one like 9-foot tall elderly woman.
Who, don't forget,
Oh,
who could transform into a cat.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, McGonagall like fights off Snape, and the whole train
The whole
clapped.
place clapped.
Yeah, everybody stands up and claps. Snape got dunked on.
Yeah, literally happiness returns to Hogwarts. And McGonagall's like, all right, Potter, what do you need from me? He's like,
oh, you know what I need.
yeah.
I'll take it in debit. And she proceeds to send all of Slytherin House to the
Oh
dungeons,
hell yeah, that's
which
a
is
queen move right there. Because look, I know not every Slytherin person is bad, and there are gonna be people out there who are like, "Hey, there are some good
not
Slytherins."
all cops.
Yeah. God damn it, Tommy. uh, but you know, the only really good Slytherin in the series is like Slughorn, and he's still a pussy. So
He's a Slytherin?
you know what? Yeah,
I don't know
he's
that.
the head of Slytherin House.
No, I thought wasn't. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Well, Snape was the house of head of Slytherin until he became headmaster.
Yeah.
Um, what were we saying? Yeah, she sends all the Slytherins to the dungeons.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't all listen because Draco's like still slurking about, being a grimy little bastard. And then I do like this part of the movie where it's like the calm. It's not the calm before the storm, but it like may as well be because it's like you see Neville and Dean kind of setting the bridge up to explode, and all the teachers are like putting charms around the castle, and then all the or not Dumbledore's army, the Order of the Phoenix shows up, and they start making preparations, and it starts to feel like, oh shit, like this is like the build up to like the real fucking climax of everything. And you know, Harry's still running around looking for the last Horcrux, and I don't know. There's like a weird kind of feeling for when they're just waiting for it to start.
Yeah, it's
Like Fred and George,
they're
they're
all
sitting
like
on the roof.
they're all like looking at each other and just it's like that scene in a lot of movies where it is like look around, a lot of these faces will not be here anymore, kind of thing.
Mm, yeah,
Um,
and it's true. A lot of them die.
yeah, and in as a lot we mean like a lot.
Yeah, and
Um,
you know what? There are so many that most of them don't even get like
yeah,
more than a second. That you're
which
like, oh
is
shit, they died.
which is one of my complaints with the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
Especially
like
about Lupin, I think.
I was gonna say, like if any of these characters that did die had died in another movie, it would have been given so much screen time.
Yeah, Lupin and
Um,
Fred should be like huge deals.
but I was thinking about it, and I'm just like, you know what? It would have maybe been better if they had shown them dying and like gave that a couple extra minutes.
Yeah,
But with an all-out war, you're gonna have some of your best friends that just die left and right, and you don't even realize. So I'm
that's
like,
true.
okay, you know what? If
Yeah.
that's what they were going for, then I understand. I don't know if
I
that's
think
what they were
it's
going for,
I
but
do think it's like with Lupin I can kind of accept it a little more. I think with Fred they should have shown it more because all you really see is like Ron breaking down. You can't even really tell who died.
yeah, you don't even know which brother it is.
Yeah, you don't even know which one it is. I mean, you kind of do because you can see which one's missing an ear. Oh, we didn't even talk about that for Deathly Hallows one, but the part with the seven Harrys is really funny.
Oh, I was also gonna ask, why didn't Harry just transform into
Transform into
somebody?
somebody else
Yeah.
because
What
it's
did
not
that?
as funny.
Okay.
Ow! Oh, fuck! Just whacked my elbow hard, listeners.
Oh yeah.
Mm. Uh, so, why was I saying that? Oh yeah, but I feel like Fred is like the first one who's like, oh, someone in there, like I guess Cedric, but like someone who was around the entire time, who was their age that died. That's a sad death. Like one twin, I think, and the fact that it's one of the Weasleys, like I feel like that could have had a little more time dedicated to it, at least to show
Yeah.
just Ron. You don't even have to show Harry, but
And I also basically just Fred and Lupin, because like Lupin, he's literally brought back later on as a ghost, as a
Mhm.
spirit ghost, for Harry,
Yeah.
or Force Ghost. I was gonna joke. Um, but it's like he got his death had like no time on screen. It was just like, oh, he's here and he's holding hands with Tonks.
Yeah.
Um,
Who also dies.
yeah, who also dies.
And you know what? That one is like, she was never a big character, you know, like that one's like, yeah, okay, that's a
Yeah,
big
it's a
death,
dime a
but
dozen.
what can you do? I really like two things in this movie. Well, I like a lot of things, but there's one thing that I really like um, better than what they did in the book, um, which is I like Ron and Hermione's first kiss in the movie
Yeah,
more,
that
and
was that was
that's kind of a hot take for book readers, but
it was. You could see they were waiting.
yeah, it felt
It was
like more of
stirring.
like a desperation thing of like, it happens right after like they get hit with that big wave of water, and they're like, yeah, we might die, so like now's
Mhm.
the now's the time. I like
Thing
that.
is, it's not like they say, "Oh, we might die." They just look at each other and then they proceed to like tear each other's faces off with their mouths.
Like fucking Wolverine. Like a pack of fucking.
Oh, ooh, God.
Oh, sugar.
Yeah, it was a much. I will give you this. It was a much better kiss than
Harry
Harry
and
and Cho
Ginny.
Chang.
Oh yeah, Harry and
Yeah, I
Cho
mean,
Chang
any
too.
of Harry kisses,
Yeah,
any of
definitely.
Harry's kisses, it's better than.
Uh,
I could
yeah.
just hear like during that part where like I was watching in like the living room, but I could hear like the theater audiences like going woo and clapping
Oh yeah,
during that.
yeah. What was I gonna say? I will say Ron being able to open the door with Parseltongue just because Harry talks in sleep.
Yeah, that was
It's a
really
little
cool.
stupid. I
Oh, okay. I thought it was kind of cool.
mean, it's cool, but I don't care. I just think it's like whatever. Like that would be something that like in a more like serious franchise, people would be like, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah.
I don't care, but
Okay, that's fair.
it's a little funny.
Yeah, fair enough.
Um, I also, um, you have Harry's conversation with the Gray Lady, where he finds out where the diadem is.
Yep.
Um,
She's kind of
and
annoying.
another part I really like is that Harry, um, like I forget if it's Crab or Zabini or Goyle. I don't remember really know which one it is, but someone sets the place on fire
Goyle.
with the
I think
fiend
it's
fire.
Goyle.
Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
and I like that Harry goes back to save Draco and them. That's just like a
Goyle
very
dies. Goyle just straight up dies.
he does die, yeah.
He falls into it
Oh
and he
yeah, I kind of forgot
he
about that one.
just
That's another big death. And I like that they go back to save them, and then there's just a very Harry thing in his character to do, and I guess kind of repayment for Draco saving Harry's life at Malfoy Manor. And then they destroy that one, and then there's the sequence where they're just running through the school, which I think is really cool, where they're just like kind of running through the whole battle. Do you remember this part? And they just like everything's just kind of happening around
yeah.
them.
Yep.
Like they're casting a few spells here and there. And I will say, at this point in the series, Harry can cast some spells now. Like he's been doing some
Yeah.
magic.
Not only can he, but he has finally.
Yeah. Um, and you see like Lavender Brown, like Brown's ex girlfriend's getting her fucking face eaten, just for like a
Yeah,
second.
she dies.
Mm-hmm. Um, and then what? And then they run, and then Aberforth shows up, right? And with the big Patronus, scares all the
Yep.
Dementors
Oh
away.
yeah, that's a crazy Patronus.
And then they go down to where Snape is being like killed, and I think this is one of probably the most effective parts of the movie.
It's
Is
really good scene.
yeah, is not only Snape dying and
But
then
the
like giving
afterwards,
his,
the
giving
memory,
his
the
yeah. So Harry goes right up to put the memories in the pensieve, and we see everything about like Snape and his allegiance to Dumbledore and how he was a double agent and all this stuff and how
he was so horny
he was
for Harry's
he was
mom
down so bad
that he's
that
like, I gotta save this
he
kid.
was
Like, what
really
if
willing to risk it all. And I will say, what I really like about Snape as a character is like, I don't think this
his
makes him like,
ass?
I don't think this makes, yeah, okay, thanks, Dolly. I don't think this makes him a good guy necessarily, um, because he still like abused children like constantly, and that's especially
Yeah, I
true if you
hear you.
read the books where he's like straight up a abusive dickhead. but I like that he's like, you can't really call him good or evil because, you know, he's not all good because he like fucking was terrible to all these kids for all this time. But you can't really call him evil either because like he died to save the entire wizarding world.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Snape, like,
Yeah.
there'd be a problem.
Hmm.
I don't know. I think he redeemed himself. I mean, I guess he never really what
He was never truly evil.
he wasn't never. He was just a.
But let's not forget that Snape did join the fucking wizard Nazis to begin with. And the
Yeah.
only reason he left is because he was so horny.
Which yeah, I mean, apparently I like read and it was like the whole argument why he joined is like, oh, he was young and vulnerable to like bad influences,
Right.
but it's still like
It's like, okay,
you should,
QAnon.
yeah,
Fucking,
you should know a little bit better, but like, I'm glad he got out of that. Good for you,
yeah,
Snape.
yeah, sure. That's fine. Uh, but I do think that's a really effective scene. And then what I really, really like is after Harry finds out that he's a Horcrux and he comes out of the pensieve and you can just like see in his face like the immediate like crushing weight and like he
Mhm.
immediately reaches for his heart and starts feeling it because he's like he knows he has to go like die. And I think I've
Yeah,
always thought that that bit where he's like he just realizes he has to die and he's like walking down to do it is like one of the saddest points in the series because it's like this is the dude who we've all grown up with now, and he's like so brave to the point where he's just gonna go
where
die.
he's okay. Yeah,
It's really
it's and
it's
then
good
he
stuff.
has that scene with Hermione where like I forget what he says, but she's just like it's what like we've known all. And he's like, oh, I
Yeah,
think I've known it all along.
yeah.
And then she immediately understands what he's talking about, and Ron just
Mm.
kind of sits there in the back, like kicking rocks. It's just like,
It's another problem with movie Ron, dude. Like, at least give him
he
a
literally
hug.
doesn't. He literally doesn't say or do anything during that scene, which is like, I don't
It
know,
feels
like
a little out of character for him to
it's
not.
very out of character.
This is
I mean,
like,
his best friend
yeah,
is going to
like
die, and he
Ron is
just
closer to
not.
Harry than he is to any of his own brothers, you know.
Yeah,
So like, I don't know. But besides that, and then another scene that gets me pretty hard emotionally. Like this is the part, like usually the part in the franchise where I tear up the most. When he uses the resurrection stone to talk to his
yeah.
parents, it's I don't know why, like something about the way he just asks, like, does it hurt?
And then
It's like,
Sirius goes only for like it's quicker than falling asleep.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think
that's a
that
good
hits me
scene.
emotionally because that's like that's such a question that like a kid would ask if they knew they were about to die, and the fact that like even though Harry's an adult, it's like I don't know, it's sad, and
I
he's talking
agree.
to his parents for the first time, and Lupin and apologizing to Lupin because he'll never know his son, and
That is, yeah, honestly, and that was like the most incredible thing that Lupin said. He's like, I'm really sorry, Lupin. And then Lupin just shrugs it off and says, one day he'll understand. And I'm like,
yeah.
ah, that got me because it's like that is like the most wise like Dumbledore thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
And this man literally just died. Like he's not gonna ever see his son,
I know.
and he's just like, he'll understand. It's okay.
I
Like,
know.
ah, man.
I just think that it's the way his dad, and I just got chills talking about this, but the way his dad
Yeah,
and his mom are like, we'll be here the whole time. Don't worry. It's just like it's really emotional because they're like the fact that he's like literally has to choose to die right now, and he's just like he's gonna do it, and it's like
yeah. He's a brave kid.
very brave. Um, and then the part where he just like Voldemort, he shows up to Voldemort, and then Hagrid cries out like Harry, no, like that also hits me because I'm like
Because
Hagrid is
Hagrid,
like
he's just like, I didn't want them to actually come out.
I
Like,
know,
what?
and Hagrid's like been the person in the franchise who is like the adult in the franchise, I should say, who has definitely like cared for Harry the most. Like, yeah, he had a father figure with Dumbledore and Sirius, but like Hagrid was like always like there. So that's really, really sad. And then they make him fucking carry Harry in his arms.
Yeah, what a sad scene.
I know.
But what was, then the scene before that where Harry straight up dies
Mm-hmm.
and he wakes up in a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser commercial. And then there's little baby Voldemort under a fucking bench,
Yeah, little squiggly little,
dirtying up the whole place.
like ew, fucking gross little tadpole.
I know. And then Harry's like, "What the hell is that?" And then Dumbledore's like,
Dumbledore's like,
"Oh, don't worry about
don't worry, it's fine. Yeah,
it. The elves will take care of it."
that's a good conversation too. And
Mhm.
have you heard the theory about how like the end of Deathly Hallows is like um ends up being like a perfect stand-in for like the tale of the three brothers
No.
because it's like um what is it? It's like one who died for power, and that's Voldemort. One who died for lost love, and that's Snape. And then there's one who greeted death like an old friend, and that's Harry greeting Dumbledore at
Mm,
the
that's
thing.
cool.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
a
was
cool.
that ever confirmed?
Yeah, I think it was confirmed.
Oh, it's really cool then.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Um, and yeah, that's it. It's a good conversation between Dumbledore and Harry too, where he's like, "Of course, it's happening inside your head. Why on earth should that mean that it's not real?"
Yeah, I like that. Um, I really,
Dumbledore's a little bit of a fucker because he's always talking in riddles, and it would get
yeah.
really frustrating to be like, "Dude, am I dead or
He's
not? Come on, dude."
he's a he's a bit like a. Never mind. I'll tell you after. Um, um, yeah, that's. I don't remember that whole conversation they had, but it's great.
It
Um,
is.
and then yeah, Harry wakes up, and
Yeah.
then
Which is,
his.
I think it's cool that it is because like Harry is the master of the three Deathly Hallows,
Mm-hmm.
so he is able to beat death. It's cool.
Yeah, and then Malfoy's mom, like, she 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 finds out he's alive, and she doesn't freak out, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because if I was tasked to figure out if Harry Potter was actually dead, and like he was alive, I'd be like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Even if you wanted to hide it, you would still be like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, I'd probably pee a little bit. Um, and Harry's alive, and she just asks if Draco's okay, and he's like, yep.
Yeah. And then she spares him because Draco spared him. It's not a good, great. This movie's just filled with like really great emotional payoff to like so much of what the whole series has been setting
I
up.
agree.
Um, do you know where Dumbledore got the Resurrection Stone? Did you catch it?
Um, Infomercial? I don't know.
It's the ring.
Oh.
It was the stone from the ring that was one of Voldemort's
Yeah.
Horcruxes.
Okay, that makes sense. So why
Um,
did Voldemort give away the Resurrection Stone?
I mean, he didn't really mean to give it away. He hid it like the other ones.
Okay. Where did
But
they find
Dumbledore,
the ring?
it's not in the movies, but in the book, it's he hid it in the house that his mother lived in, growing up,
Okay.
and it was like their family heirloom or whatever. Um, and or no, maybe the locket was their family heirloom. But regardless, he hid the ring there.
Here's my thing. If Voldemort really wanted to like have an unfindable Horcrux, he would have just picked like a rock and
Yeah,
then thrown it into the ocean.
and again, I think that's something that J.K. Rowling could have totally solved with like one line, like, "Oh, the object has to have emotional significance to you,"
Yeah.
or something, you know, and like has to be hidden in a place where you can still access it or something. But again, she just ignored it. So
Yeah. Anyways, Voldemort yells out, "Harry's dead,"
yeah.
and then you know what'd be really funny? Like, what if like while all this was happening, Harry like accidentally sneezed
Oh
and
yeah.
like just blew his cover, and it was like, "You just hear that?" Harry's like, "No."
Hagrid's like, nope. Yeah, and then Neville, badass motherfucker Longbottom, steps up and is like,
He's in here. He's
Harry's
still
heart
with
beats
us.
for all of us. I really like how he pulls the sword out of the hat. It's fucking
That
cool.
was really cool. Mhm.
Um,
I also like how Dumbledore says right before that, um, Hogwarts will always give help to those who need it and also
Oh yeah.
deserve it.
Hmm. Yeah, it's cool payoff for Neville because he's always been such a wimp, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. And then, the whole final battle that pursues after that is cool.
Yep.
And especially when Neville cuts the head off the snake after it's like lunging at Ron and Hermione, and he just like swipes up. The way it's filmed is like it's just so triumphant. It's cool.
Neville's kind of the reason why they win because that like that shook Voldemort so much that he lost the wand duel.
Yeah.
With Harry. So I don't know. You have to give a lot of credit to Neville.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what I like about the series is really everyone is important in this final kind of bit. Like even without Ron, Harry would have drowned.
Yep.
Harry would have drowned in the ice lake. But yep, and so all the Horcruxes are gone. The snake is dead, and then Harry and Voldemort have that kind of like their last stand, and
Thanos snaps his fingers, and Voldemort
yeah
goes away.
Yeah, I don't really like that effect on him.
I didn't really like it either.
I think it would have been. I think it would have been more effective if he just fell to the ground as like a dead body. Because
I don't know about that. I feel like they could have done something cooler though.
Here's why I'll say that, right? The one thing that Voldemort has always feared is like dying, and especially being like everyone else. So I think to have him die in such a way that it's like he's just a human, where he's like, I don't know, I just think it would have been such a cool sense of finality. And that's how it is in the book. Like he just dies like a normal person. Because he's not mythic without his Horcruxes. He's just like any wizard. Mm-hmm. So I would have liked that. But I don't care that much. Still.
Yeah, I mean, like, they did what they did. I don't really care all that much.
Let's finish this how we started, Tom. Together.
Yeah, that was a weird. Because that's like, it's just too long of a line, and Voldemort's like right. He's
just kind of standing there. Yeah.
He's like, I guess I'm gonna let him finish. And like saying that,
he's like, well, he does always let me finish, so it's only polite.
Like, yeah, let's finish how we started, Tom. Together, like that's like I don't know, like 2.5 seconds. Like, surely Voldemort could have killed him. I always find it
like funny to think of like. Seconds. Imagine if like movie characters flubbed as much as like humans in real life do. Like if he was like, "Let's finish this how we fit." Start. Yeah, just fucks up the sentence.
Sorry, I gotta start over.
He's like, "Let's finish this how we start." Excuse me.
We're like disconnecting a little bit.
Oh, are we?
Are we good?
I'm good.
Yeah, okay, I think we're good. Yeah, man. Harry's still with. He's still with us.
And then that's it. Then... Voldemort fucking dies. Harry walks through the school. Neville says, "I'm gonna go put the moves on Luna now."
Oh no!
I can hear. Wait, can you not hear me? Hello? Uh-oh. Okay, so yeah, Neville's like, hey, I want to go hang out with Luna and put the moves on her. And
yeah. Well, not even the moves. They just sit next to each other, and Neville kind of smiles, and Luna does
implied.
Her like...
It's implied.
Yeah, it's implied.
Another scene I quite like is Harry and Ron and Hermione just like talking on the bridge. And Harry explains how the Elder Wand belongs to him.
Harry just kind of...
That's another change from the book that I actually think is much better in the movie. In the book, Harry puts it back in Dumbledore's grave, where Voldemort stole it from. In the movie, he snaps it in half and throws it off the bridge. And I think the second one is a lot more in line with his character. To be like,
yeah, because like
no one can ever get it.
Voldemort had. Yeah, the magic that Voldemort had to get the wand was not too difficult. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
He literally just had to do like Wingardium Leviosa on the tomb to
mhm.
open it, and that was it.
Oh, and also I will say there was so in the sixth movie, um when they find Slughorn and his house is like in shambles, Dumbledore kind of just like waves his wand and it fixes the entire house up instantly.
Mm,
And then at the end of the seventh movie, everybody's like drinking coffee, like hanging out. They just beat Voldemort. Everybody's pretty happy.
yeah.
And in the background, you see Finch like using a
Oh yeah.
broom to
Yeah.
clean up everything. And I'm like,
Phyllis is just sweeping, and they're like, yeah, put the help to work.
nobody, yeah, nobody could like
Do what
help him out
Dumbledore
a
did.
little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Um,
funny. Um,
yeah, it was a little silly, but I did really like the when he just snaps the wand. I thought that was a really good scene.
yeah, it's good because no one can ever get it again. But I do wish he did what he did in the book, which is before he gets rid of the wand, he uses the Elder Wand to fix his original wand, which I
Mhm.
think is cool. And then the last part of the movie is the 19 years later bit, and
Yeah, we saw Harry got busy.
oh, you married Elastigirl and got busy.
got busy. I love that scene. Um,
Yeah. So Albus Severus,
Albus
James
Severus.
Sirius, and Lily Luna Potter.
Is that named after Luna Lovegood?
Yeah. I think he was
Okay.
like, damn, I can't think of another female role model in my life. I guess I'll just
Not
name it
like
after Luna.
McGonagall. It could have been McGonagall.
Minerva.
Yeah.
Lily Minerva. Hey, that you know what? That would probably. You know what? All his kids should have been named fucking Hagrid Potter, because
I
he's the
no,
only.
nobody was named Hagrid. I
Because
felt bad for that
Hagrid's the
guy.
only goddamn person who cared about Harry his entire life.
Hmm.
I get that naming a kid Rubius is kind of doing him dirty, but like, come on, man. You named one after Albus Severus. That's such a shit name, dude. Come
It
on.
is such a shit name. Because yeah, you're just gonna be known as one, the Potter kid, and two, the kid whose name is Albus Severus.
And you're also named after a literal Nazi. Like, yes, he reformed,
Yeah.
but he was still a Nazi at one point. Uh, but yeah, I do think.
Yeah, but what?
Nope,
Oh, I was
go.
gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say that. It's just also funny that Harry is the one that gets to name all the kids
I
their like
know
first
Ginny
and
didn't get
middle
a
name,
say. She's like, "Hey, my
and
brother died."
like she's just like,
She's just like, "What?" She's just
yeah,
like,
sorry,
"What?"
cut out. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, turn your camera off. That might improve our internet.
You hear me?
All right. Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, she's like her whole brother died, and
Her whole brother, not just half.
and just one, and I don't know, but maybe Ron and Hermione named their kid Fred, maybe.
I think George named his kid Fred
Okay.
canonically.
But yeah, Harry kind of steals all the names. Like,
It sure does.
I
She's
don't know,
like,
get
I kind of just wanted them to have
one.
normal
Like,
names. Like, they don't all
yeah,
have to be
like I don't
named
know.
after
At
something.
least, and he takes the middle names too. He's like, I'm doing these middle names as well.
I know. Like,
Yeah,
first of all, Albus Severus does not need to exist, man. One of them can be
yeah.
James, and one of them can be Sirius. That seems
Hmm.
pretty appropriate. And then Ginny can have the middle names. You're taking their entire all three of them. You didn't even give her one. You named her after Luna.
Not a single. Yeah, Ginny's just like, well, my mom is really important to me. It's like, nope, we're naming it after this girl Luna.
Yeah. You know her, right? She's in your ear.
Yeah.
I know you didn't talk much. Uh, but yeah,
Um,
I do think he tells his son not to be afraid of being in Slytherin because he can choose whatever. And then they all go off to school. And I do think that like that final shot with the music, it gets me emotionally because I'm like, yep, that's it. Like it just feels like so final and so like bittersweet to see them all grown up and like sending their kids off, you know?
yeah, it was one of those times where like I wanted to watch more, but I knew that there was like nothing more to be said. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of sad. but I still liked it a lot. Anyway, wanna do our rankings? I just realized we're probably run a little over time.
Yeah. Let me say one more thing.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, as a whole, I think this movie is probably one of the most like universally like loved uh endings to like any franchise. I think like so many other franchises, Star Wars, even Endgame, like people, at least some people, like really feel like the ending was not good. Um, I think this is one that pretty much has pleased everyone who is a fan of the franchise, and that's a really big feat to pull off, you know.
Yeah, good for them. Good for Yates.
Good job, Yates. All right, let's do our rankings. So we're gonna go.
Yeah, let's just go back and forth.
Yep. All right, so let's start with your number 8, and I
Eight
think I
is
can guess.
yeah. It's Chamber of Secrets. Um, Again, it has my favorite part in the whole series, but that's literally the single highlight. Everything
Mm-hmm.
else is boring, dumb, stupid, and yeah. What's
Yep.
your number 8?
My number 8 is also Chamber of Secrets because it is just too long, too boring, and honestly probably a little bit too tonally similar to the first one.
Yeah, it has probably the coolest name title out of the whole series, but the Chamber of Secrets is just really the actual Chamber of Secrets is just really boring.
Yeah.
Anyways, my number 7 is Deathly Hallows Part One. Uh, I still think it's a good movie, but it's just it's too slow. It is way too slow.
Whatever, Tommy.
Yeah.
My number
Sorry.
7 is Order of the Phoenix.
Okay.
Again, plenty to like, but I just feel like it's one of the least remarkable ones.
Yes, that actually goes well because my number 6 is Order of the Phoenix. Um, Again, there are good things about it, but not there's nothing really outstanding. It's kind of
Yeah.
just blah.
My number 6 is Sorcerer's Stone.
Mhm.
Um, again, I think this is pretty much a perfect introduction. So it being this low is saying a lot about how much I like the rest of the franchise. Um, but I just feel like it is a kids movie, so it's not able to hit those same highs as some of the other ones.
Yeah, so my 3 through 5 are pretty much interchangeable, but just for the sake of it, I'm gonna order it. But if you really want to get into it, like any of these could be in any position. But I just have a 5, Goblet of Fire. It's probably the one that I've watched the most, and I don't know. There's a lot that could be removed and a lot that could have been added to it, but I think generally it's still pretty good.
Yeah, my number 5 is Prisoner of Azkaban. Um, even though I know this one's probably better than where I'm putting it, I think it's just one that uh, um, I just think it's like I don't know. It's really good. Like it's really good, but it's just not quite my favorite. It doesn't quite have like my favorite parts about the franchise in it.
Yeah. So at number 4, I got Prisoner of Azkaban, and it's really good. I think it doesn't really have any bad parts, and I think my problem with it is that where it has good parts, it could have been made really good, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they didn't really do enough with those good parts. Um, so like when they're all in the treehouse kind of thing, I thought that was a really good scene, but like I just wish I don't know, wish there was kind of more of it. But all around, it's really good.
Yeah, my number 4 is Goblet of Fire. I know I like this movie more than most people, but I just think it's fun. I enjoy some of the kind of the stupid teen stuff about it. Like I don't know. I think I just enjoyed the actual plot of this movie a lot, and the tournament and Voldemort's return is probably one of my favorite parts of the whole franchise.
Mhm. At number 3, I have Sorcerer's Stone. I could maybe see this go a little bit lower. I don't know, but I think I have this high just because it's really a great introduction to the wizarding world, and like no other movie kind of does it as good. Even
Mm-hmm.
though it's the first, I think it still like shows you brooms, it shows you Diagon Alley. There's so much to this movie that like makes you want to be like at Hogwarts, which is probably why I have it so high. I think the story is kind of meh, but I just think the atmosphere is amazing.
Yeah, my number 3 is Deathly Hallows Part 2. Uh, it's pretty much a perfect conclusion to the series. The only reason it's lower than the next two is because it's missing. Um, it's a pretty fast paced movie the entire time.
Mhm.
It's like pretty much all action from the very beginning, which I love. Don't get me wrong, but the other two are a little more what I look for in my Harry Potter things.
Yeah, so number two, I have Deathly Hallows Part Two. Again, it's like what you just said. It's a perfect conclusion. Um, and it's very, very emotional at times, which I felt like was really needed because there's not much emotion, not many emotional parts besides like a couple key moments throughout the series. But this one is just like really, really good culmination of everything,
Mm-hmm.
and it's great.
Yeah, my number two is Half Blood Prince. I fucking love this movie. I feel like it's the perfect blend of the darker tone and the fun teen comedy elements. You know, it has without a doubt some of my favorite moments in the series, and it's just real good. Love it.
Yeah, number one, I have Half Blood Prince. It's probably, I think, our conversation on it like definitely influenced this decision, but also like it was probably going to be up there pretty high. Um, I just think it's there's not much I don't like about this movie. There's maybe a couple things, but it's like really funny and has probably the most iconic moment in the entire series.
Mm.
It's just all around great.
Yeah, my number one. Sorry, Tommy. It's Deathly Hallows Part One.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Over time, I've just really grown to enjoy the way this movie is. It's slower. It's um, it's really the part where we get to spend the most time with Harry, Ron, and Hermione as a trio, and I think it's really effective at being a slower build up piece. And like I said, Harry and Hermione's dance, Dobby's death, Ron and Harry fighting, and then Ron's return. They're all some of my favorite parts of the movie. I just think overall it has a certain quality to it that makes it stand out in my mind. I know I'm in the minority, but that's fine. And with that, I mean, Tommy, our lists are pretty
They're
pretty
pretty
similar,
similar.
with the
There's
exception of
there's
Deathly Hallows Part One.
Yeah, that is like probably the only difference, major difference in our rankings. But yeah, it's good that we kind of have a pretty similar. I'd like to see like what our list kind of compare how they compare to like the consensus list.
Yeah, I
Um,
would too. I think most lists have like Prisoner of Azkaban and Deathly Hallows as the top two.
does he always part two or part one?
Part two.
Oh, okay.
Um, and most of them have Chamber of Secrets and Goblet of Fire as the bottom two.
Oh, okay.
Um, so, but yeah, like I said, this franchise, like overall, it's just like it's so consistent, quality wise. Like there's really no sharp turns in either direction. Um, and it's nice to have a franchise where it's like every movie feels important and they all feel like you want to watch them all when you rewatch the series.
Yeah, it's really like yeah, because like with Star Wars, I have the choice of like watching any one of them, and I don't really feel like I'm missing much.
Mm-hmm.
But with this one, I'm like, oh well, it would be cool to go back. And honestly, this made me like kind of want to read the books again. I definitely won't, but it made me want to.
Yeah, it's a great series to revisit every couple of years.
Hmm.
Uh, but I will say, Tommy, did you like watching these again more than you thought you would, or
Yeah, I definitely did.
less? Yeah,
I definitely enjoyed it more.
yeah. Well, that's cool. It's a great
Mhm.
franchise. Um, thank you all for joining us on this 4-part series.
Four-part adventure.
I know Tommy and I really enjoyed doing
Yeah,
these.
now get ready for what you know what would be really funny if we did if we did a part two for like the last episode of Deathly Hollows.
Oh my god. Yeah, we split this one into 2 parts.
Deathly Hollows part one and two, part two. Uh, alas.
Yeah. So Tommy and I, we're trying to figure out another series we could do this with. We don't really want to do Star Wars because it's just exhausting.
It would
But
be I don't know if I want to
we're
do
gonna
it.
spend some time and figure out something we can do another like kind of long form uh thing like this. Um, the only thing is like this is the best franchise for it. So, but again, we had a really good time talking about these. So yeah, thanks for watching. Tune in next week for I don't know whatever we're doing at that time in April.
I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I've never seen the John Wick movies. Maybe we'll do John Wick or something.
I'm gonna say we're gonna do 8 Mile next week.
8 Mile.
Now, when this comes out, we
We're
have
gonna
to
do
do 8 Mile.
we're gonna do Schindler's List.
Yeah, a Schindler's List and a Goofy movie double
Yeah,
feature.
good.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Goodbye.